Where you?
Yo, OG Guapo, what we got?
What's going on, my guy? You good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, we did the first interview the first time, and when we started, you were just getting your foot in the water with the content creation game, especially doing like YouTube videos. You had the news going on. Tell me about how you felt like that worked for your career so far.
I believe it panned out pretty good so far. Next week would be like literally a year from when I started doing the high school thing on a consistent level, or just shooting how I've been shooting on a consistent level. So it's been pretty great, man. I believe I had mentioned last time we talked that I had knew a bunch of coaches that are still coaching, and then so a lot of the relationships I've made have came before I even picked up the camera. So me picking up the camera, it just kind of, everybody just wanted me to pull up and show love to their school, their team, their Little League team, any events they got going on, whether it's sports related or not. I just been working, man. It's been a crazy year for sure. It's been nuts.
Nah, it definitely has. I can definitely tell the growth and like your content creation so far. Just seeing how you bounce back from, taking some time off from doing the news and actually going out in the field and actually picking up the camera and going out there to see the players that actually support you.
Right.
It's crazy seeing the support that you get from a lot of those players. I mean, you tapped in with not only your alumni, Broome Centurions, but you got the Spartanburg Vikings, Gaffney Indians, Dorman Cavaliers. I mean, just about every team in the 864 is really messing with you right now.
Nah, man, I'm nothing without them, literally. Nothing without my clientele. I'm nothing without the athletes. I'm nothing without the parents that's supporting me as well. And it's been nothing but love, from other videographers, like I say, to the parents, to the athletes. It's been nothing but genuine love. So I'm definitely grateful for that.
So what made you make that jump from doing news and sports news, that is, to going out in the field and catching players and their teams?
To be honest, I honestly wanted to do that off rip. I honestly wanted to do what I'm doing now from the jump, but I didn't think I had the right necessary equipment and stuff to use. But anybody out there that's watching and you want to get started doing some videography and photography, use your phone. I can't stress it enough. Your iPhone's a $1,000 phone for a reason. You better learn how to make some money off of it, So really, I wanted to do that off of real. I was really discouraged because I ain't had no camera or nothing like that at the time. So I would just simply, set up my iPhone and do the sports commentary. And then once the semester started, when school and high school sports started, my dog Sensei would let me use his camera. And so if y'all didn't know, I was actually filming on my iPhone. If you seen me, you know. I was filming on my iPhone, but I was taking pictures off my dog camera. So if you ain't got no real friend, no real supporter like my dog Sensei, then you need to get you something, because it really, bro, it wouldn't been possible without your help, for real. So I definitely appreciate you for that as well. So you played a major part in this journey as well. So I do appreciate you for that, bro.
Nah, I definitely seen the vision. I mean, we talked about it in the last interview. These were things that we talked about back 2016, 2015.
I don't even know, bro. Longer than that.
Yeah, for real.
I don't even know. Shout out to Cuddy, man.
For sure. So I remember when you were first doing that, and then once you got out in the field, doing that type of work, did it help you with speaking on camera and everything? Do you feel like your interview game kind of stepped up, because you also did a few after game segments where you would go to like some of the players of the game and get a word from them?
Right. I believe it definitely helped in a sense, but I need to get back doing sports commentary because I'm gonna be, going on the road here soon. So that's gonna help me, hone my crafts a little more. But Yeah, for sure. It definitely helped. I wish I could have did more sports commentary videos throughout, but I just been so locked in on, man, I get a thrill being out there with the youth, man. I really do. It just should take you back to when you was playing, and you know how, hey, you know how active I was. So I just love the energy and the environment of, you know, just being around the youth, because, you know, they next up, and, you know.
I definitely got a feel for that. Like, you know, seeing you tap in with them, you know, their excitement on being on camera. You know, a lot of times some of these players don't even see camera footage of their game, you know, because you tap in with a lot of schools who we don't know, like SCA, and I've seen you go to a lot of the smaller high schools as well. Oakbrook, yeah, exactly. And I mean, even just your alumni, Broome, you know, it is a powerhouse school within the county, but at the same time, it kind of gets, you know, overshadowed by a lot of the 5A schools.
Of course.
So seeing you out there, is definitely kind of inspirational, because them kids light up.
Yeah, I don't do it for me, man. I do it for them.
So with that being said, a lot of the relationships that you built, how special has that been for you with tapping in with some of your old coaches, some coaches that you're just now meeting? You know, I seen Spartanburg Vikings coach Hodge. He's definitely taking a liking to you.
Yeah, that's my dog, man. Shout out to Coach Hodge, man. But the coaches, they just been, you know, letting me capture content of their school, their team, and I just been doing my magic. I just, you know, sit back and, you know, just capture footage and get to shoot, and that's really it. But yeah, these coaches, like I said, a lot of these coaches I knew prior, before me picking up the camera. A lot of coaches I'm starting to meet. Social media is something crazy. So a lot of these coaches and stuff are literally like follow me on Twitter, and, you know, so I always try to, you know, post content on Twitter, because that's where, you know, everybody really be at. Shout out to all the coaches that's let me be a part of their team, their program, their games, their practices. Definitely appreciate it, and I know you guys feel the same way. So it's just that mutual relationship of however I can help them, and, you know, they feel the same way. You know, they're there for me whenever I need them as well. So.
And you kind of touched on my next question. You're on multiple platforms. You build a large social media following, and it's crazy because, like, you know, from the outside looking in, I actually watched the growth. You went from, you know, doing things on your personal social media pages, and you transferred over to Guapo Images, where that's where you would post the photography pics after every game. And then you got into the Instagram Reels. So we'll step by step. So when you did photography for the football games and stuff, what was that like on that side of covering sports and football, like pictures versus video?
Well, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I'm sure you guys have heard that. Like I say, being a former athlete, I always wanted some flicks of, you know, me playing and whatnot. So I just really just try to put myself in their shoes. You know, it's not able to get everybody, which is a very tough thing to do. I'm not able to get everybody, but I do try to capture the scene, capture the environment, capture the moment, in essence, and then let the picture itself tell the story.
Nah, for sure. And then with the videos, when you transition to doing that, that's when, like, I ain't gonna lie, your following picked up major success. I mean, TikTok, I don't know if y'all know, but Guapo Images on TikTok. I think your TikTok handle is OGxGuapoTv. And you went from, I'll never forget, because, like, I was telling you about how I would get like 100,000 here, and I'd be like, dang, it's hard to get another 100,000. You started dropping those reels on there, and 100,000 here, 50,000 here. And it's like you got people from all over the states tapping in for Carolina football.
Facts. Yeah, man. But TikTok, they be low key annoying me sometimes, man. They be muting. Like, how he get to use this sound, but I can't, you know. So they be muting some of my sounds. But if you guys haven't tapped into the Instagram, I'm able to post, and my Facebook page as well. I'm trying to get my Facebook page audience a little bigger on there, but. Yeah, man. Once I start doing them videos, man, that's the fun part coming in. Whatever song I'm vibing to, or whatever the song the kids listening to, I just pay attention, and keep my ear to, you know, what they listening to and whatnot. And then the fun part is just creating the highlight, you know, just taking the best plays of that specific event and then just putting it all together.
So when you started, did you feel like you found your niche when you did Instagram Reels? Like, was this something where you was like, okay, I can really gain some traction with this?
Most definitely. The engagements went up for sure once I started doing the Reels. So I don't do it just for the engagements, but people really seem to really enjoy those. So I just try to give them what they want. Try to give Guapo Gang what they want. So.
And that's another thing where I feel like you're following your supporters. You know, a lot of times people get so caught up in calling people fans and customers and stuff, but you always looked at everybody that supports you as family. You know,
we locked. Like, if you ever booked, you ever supported, you ever liked, shared, man, we for life, we for hell, man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Cause I done came with you to a lot of those games. And you got people from whether they are fans in the actual crowd versus, you know, actual players. They're coming up to you and they're like, Guapo, you know, that's all I hear when I go to the games with you, Guapo, and everybody's tapping in with you. Sometimes does that kind of uplift you on those days where you're like, man, you know, I don't got no content to put out right now? Does that make you kind of tap in with your supporters and be like, man, I'm doing this for y'all for real?
Nah, they always keep my spirits high, man. Even when I'm not feeling my best, I know if I pull up to an event, you know, all I gotta do is sit back and, like I say, just capture the moments. They definitely keep me in the spirit. They keep me in the mood. I just enjoy being around, you know, the athletes. I just enjoy competition. I love everything about it, man. So most definitely.
Nah, I think that's one thing a lot of people been able to tell about you, and with that, you once again you made another transition. You weren't just covering football; you actually started covering basketball, track, and we'll get into some of the other things that you cover here in a minute. But talk to me about that, like when you tapped in with the basketball teams of the upstate and basketball leagues as well, and then you also did track team, field and track. What was that? Was that something that you planned on doing?
Of course. Once football season ended, it started a new season. So definitely, once football ended, I knew I had to get some type of content. Once that ended, you know, I had to find something else to cover. And then, you know, a lot of those athletes that played football played those sports as well. So once they wanted me to come out to the events, and all I needed was an invite or a booking, and then I'm there. You know, just let me know time and place, and if I'm available, I try to make it.
So, you know, that is one thing about high school sports. A lot of players play in multiple sports. Then I think you went all the way up to actual playoffs of the basketball league in high school. What that experience, did that give you any other techniques and different types of ways of shooting? Like, what was that experience like?
Right. So football, I remember telling you actually, once football season ended and I did like my first basketball game, you know, basketball is a lot faster than football. So it's just all about keeping track of the ball. That's it. Just keep a focus of the ball and keep, you know, the ball is the subject. You know, whoever has the ball and the ball itself, that's the subject. So just, you know, trying to find them correct angles in the gymnasiums. You know, different gyms have different lighting. So it's all about trying to get, you know, that right for the best quality for them and everything. So yeah, I definitely had to, like, you know, learn how to shoot in basketball settings, shoot in baseball settings. So most definitely, it was definitely a learning curve there.
Nah, most definitely. And then we'll touch on this because from basketball and all the other sports, baseball, softball, track and field, you actually started going around the city and doing interleague type footage, the GBA league, and then you've also did the Spartanburg City League as well. Seeing you tap in with that, was that another relationship that you formed just off your content alone?
Most definitely. Once the City League thing like started popping off, basically that's when things was rolling in. So A lot of guys that done seen my work before. That's when they hit me. Shout out to the Web Dogs. They picked me up. I became the team photographer, and then they started traveling throughout the city and started competing. So once I started doing their games, other teams and other players, they wanted some shots. So I'm all about sharing love, man. So that's what I was able to do.
And we'll bounce back to your actual YouTube channel, which is OGxGuapoTv. Make sure y'all subscribe. He's going up in subscribers. He's gonna crack 1,000 before it's over with.
Man, boy, if we get 1K by December, hopefully football season pipe me up a little bit, man. I'm trying to everything 1K, everything 1K.
Your content on there, what I like to look at, you started out with Friday Night Lights, and that's when you were doing the high school football games. And then you did something special when football season was over during the summer. You did your 7-on-7 with the bros. So talk to me about that, because that was actually, I'm not gonna lie, that was fun to watch, and I think a lot of people from the city actually enjoyed that. So tell me about that.
Man, it was really crazy how that even came about. So really, the 7-on-7 literally started out as 7-on-7 with the guys. A lot of times I wouldn't even bring my camera. I would just be out there playing 7-on-7, like me and my homeboys, me and my partners. And then once I brought the camera out, like one time I started posting the pictures and the videos, and I made a YouTube video on it. And once I did that, that's when them high school boys like, man, send me an invite. Let me know when you having it. And then so I remember like creating a flyer and, gave a time and a location, and boy, that was out there. And I say deep, that was out there. Then a couple weeks later, we had another one. It was more people out there, man. Like, we had them numbers out there. We had at least 50, 60 athletes out there. And this is ranging from middle school to semi-pro. We got every level that was out there. So that was crazy to see too. But like I say, that's the power of the internet right there. All I did was create a flyer, and I guess, the other guys, they got their teammates to come out there, and everybody working. Everybody, it's competition, but at the end of the day, everybody getting their grind in, so.
And I know we're jumping around, but, you did just touch on that you had groups from all levels. You've done middle school football, and I think that was special to watch too as well, because you got the younger kids really, they definitely don't get no camera footage shine. So it was wild to see, the kids are just excited when you step on the field. Your experience with that, was that another type of love that just kind of let you know, like, man, I'm really doing something special?
Nah, seeing the smiles and hearing, hey, this is tough or this is hard, like, that's what I do it for. I do it for the athletes. So yeah, man, I don't even care about the politics or none of that extra stuff. As long as I'm making folks happy and people enjoying what I'm doing, then I'm gonna continue doing it.
So with 7-on-7 with the bros, a lot of people have wondered, when you're out there, do you ever pick up the cleats yourself? Do you get out there and you get active too?
I ain't even gonna count. When early on I was, but man, once some numbers started, once some bodies started pulling up, I had to sit back and be the cameraman on that one. I had to, although I wanted to, man.
It was a lot of players out there.
A lot. So yeah, I definitely, like I say, it started out as us. So we've been out there like early on, like last year. Like, they just, everybody, some people play pickup ball. We just go to the field, play 7-on-7. So that'll be our way of getting our, exercise in or whatever, in our sweat. But most definitely, once some numbers started coming down that hill, I had to sit this one out. I gotta capture the action.
And going from 7-on-7 with the bros, you started uploading a lot of game recaps, and that's where we kind of get to where you are now. You've done the basketball league, you've done high school football, You even went to a Wofford game and was on the sideline.
Shout out my boy Ja.
Right. And then of course 7-on-7 with the bros. Then you got, middle school league. So right now, where do you see yourself taking off from here? I know you're about to be out of town right now. You're about to go to SC State, so that's another thing to congratulate you on. You're going into a HBCU, and as soon as you step foot on campus, it's definitely going to be another experience to kind of see you capture. So what future endeavors do you feel like you're heading down?
If you didn't know, I just finished my associate's degree this summer. So with that, I'll be transferring to South Carolina State and majoring in mass communication with a minor in journalism, as well as continuing my videography and photography career for the athletes. Yeah, man, I would be basically, I got blessed with a work study position, man, so I'll be filming collegiate athletes. So all the sports that they offer at State, men's and women. So I'm gonna be getting paid to do what I do now when I get there. So I'm just doing the same thing like I do here, man, creating these relationships, I can say I'm nothing without them, so I'm here for them whenever they need me. So the next step is to go down here, go to State in the next couple of years and just take care of business. And we'll see what leaves from there.
And I want to kind of touch on more so your networking skills and your communication skills, because I've told you this off the camera, but I feel like some of your networking skills is probably the best around, to be honest. You talked your way into situations from start to finish when it comes to this content creation game. How do you feel like that's for content creators coming up? Do you feel like that's an importance for doing what you do?
Don't be shy. Don't be shy for sure. I'm going to talk regardless. Like, I talk too much, but you got to have a mouthpiece. You got to be able to speak. You got to be able to hit these coaches up, ask for permission. Communicating is definitely a part of the game. It's a part of it, too. Communication is very vital, very important. It's essential. You can't get what you want if your mouth closed. So, you got to be able to let people know what you want and what you're looking for. So,
if we're being honest, the proof is in the pudding. You've did a lot of things just by popping out, to these games, and people are coming to you now. You got people hitting you up for private bookings, and you're actually being able to fund your career on your own. If you were to talk to yourself, let's say 10 years ago, how would you explain to your younger self what you're doing now?
Man, 10 years ago, that would have been 2013. So honestly, if I could go back and tell my younger self something, we should have been started this, bro. I mean, you see, like, within the last just couple of years alone, from linking with JG and having a pod to creating our own motion, like, this is something that we've been talking about since Spoken Reason days, since, man, y'all don't even know, man. Y'all don't even know. We should have been. I be thinking about that, bro. I'm like, man, if we had a camera back in 2015,
We talk about it a lot, for the viewers that don't know, we're huge fans of Kevin Edwards Jr., the Cuddies. We stay up watching a bunch of YouTube videos back then.
That's what we grew up on, and just to see their work ethic, their grind, everything that they wanted, they got. And with the content creation, you get to see that. You get to see people dreams come true. You get to see people put their families in position, and put their partners in position. That's really what it's all about. I think it just really comes down to just really putting your people in position and in rooms. Once you get your foot in there, that's what it's about, bringing people with you. So I know a lot of up and coming photographers, a lot of photographers is doing their thing. And honestly, I just try to support them. But that's what it's about. Like, it's too many events that go around locally to to try to gatekeep or, just to feel some type of way about somebody. I just feel like it's a lot of sports events, a lot of things to do in this area that you can capture. So I don't see the point of gatekeeping. So if I can pull somebody up with me, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that every time, every single time, cause that's just how I was raised, bro. Like, I don't know, man. People be making it seem like it's competition, which I mean, you can. I don't really look at that as competition. I don't look at like my partner's work as competition. I look at it and I get inspired, really, and that's what you really should do. If you looking at somebody working and you hating on it, you need to change your mental, man. You should get inspired, figure out how you can improve. So that's what it's about. But I think watching the Cuddies and watching them guys and Spoke and whoever was on, Chris Moore, IMAF, Todd. Oh yeah, everybody, man. Yeah, but we used to look at everything evolved around YouTube when we were growing up. So if I could give myself any young advice, I think we should have been doing this, my guy.
Dang, man, you kind of got me reminiscing, because that is something we should have picked up the camera back then, because we had all that inspiration when we was young. So it's ironic now that you're actually the inspiration for the younger ones coming up now. I mean, you showed me countless kids behind the scenes just telling you like, hey, you inspired me to pick up the camera. You inspired me to get out there and do what you do. That's got to be a special feeling when you talk about how when you was younger, that now you got kids coming up under you, looking at you as the guy, looking at you as the main creator.
Yeah. They just go back to just being nice, man. Just being. I think when I first started, I hit a couple photographers that was in the city. They weren't doing sports, but they're photographers in the city, and a lot of times I would just get left on red, man. And I just remember how that made me feel. And months down the road, that's when I hit Jizzle. That's when I met JG. So once I met JG, once he, put us on the team, and I got to see behind the scenes and start being around, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I knew that. And I just remember how that made me feel, getting left on red and not hearing back, and you sending multiple messages trying to jump in the game, and wasn't nobody wasn't nobody get a handout. I mean, I ain't want no handout. I just just as a young boy, I ain't know where to start. So if I could be helpful for any up and coming photographer, videographer, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna definitely do that. So that's why I'm here. Each one, teach one.
And most definitely, shout out JG, shout out P, shout out Billy, shout out Ricky from the whole 1013 Media House.
Trill trifecta.
The whole Trill trifecta, just, not even for you, but for me, and I gotta thank you because you introduced me to them, and, we just been locked in ever since. So, and that's another thing, a lot of people can say that you've been the connecting piece for a lot of, different situations around the city. And, some people may see it, some people may not, but, you tapped in with just about every avenue, whether it's club venues, promoter venues, sporting venues, you've been out there and you've done it. With that being said, are those connections and those relationships and the support all around, is that something that you kind of pride yourself on?
Absolutely, man. If I don't deliver, then what am I doing? That, like I said earlier, man, I do this to make them happy, put a smile on people's faces. So I shoot them that photo, what I'm saying? They telling me how much they love me, what I'm saying? That's what it's about. I need that. So just satisfying my clientele, satisfying customers, satisfying the athletes, just please y'all any way I can. So most definitely, man.
So we've talked about a lot of things, but I do want to I have a few questions that I would like to ask about a few things from overall in your career. Very early on, you did the Destroying one-on-ones, and there was a situation that broke off up there. Could you tell us a little bit about it? You know, you put out the video, and it was a short little clip, you know, of what happened. But from your standpoint, first of all, overall, what was it like, the atmosphere up there? And then that situation that unfolded, what happened?
Man, that destroying on one-on-ones, that was crazy. That was crazy. And for him to have it like an hour away from the city, man, that's too. But first of all, I think they didn't expect as many people that came, because the field that they have it at, it was like in a neighborhood. It was like literally in a residential area. So people was parking in other people's yards, the whole street, man. I'm sure you gonna run the clips and whatnot, but like, bro, when I say this thing was swole, it was definitely swole. And got to meet, D, got to meet Coach O, and they great guys. But the situation that happened up there, man, people just wouldn't back up, get off the field. Dude was out there getting tussling and whatnot, and he said, which I can't blame him. You know what I'm saying? You out there in that heat, out there repeating yourself over and over again. You ain't gonna learn till you touch that eye and you find out it's hot. So he had to do what he had to do just for the safety of everybody that was involved, not only for himself, but for the ones competing, for the ones in the stands. It was just more of a safety issue, I think, more than anything. So he had to shut the event down and reschedule it. And shout out my boy Warren too, cause my boy got a band. I ain't even get to go. I'm telling you, boy, it would have been for all of y'all, bro.
Nah, I definitely want to see. Shout out Destroying too. We definitely want you to come back to the city. Shoot, come to the Bird, man. Come tap in with some. Yeah.
Greenville, Columbia, Myrtle Beach. If you somewhere in the state, I'm pulling up.
Yeah, for sure. Come to South Carolina, Destroying, if you hear this. So you have a long list of catalog for people to go back and see. But for you, the one being behind the camera, what are some of your favorite things that you've covered, situations you've been in? What are some of your favorites from overall your career? You can give me 3, nothing too major. Just overall favorites, like coverage, like football videos, basketball, anything.
My bad. Football. I ain't gonna say that's my all 3, but man, them boys get me talking. Get talking greasy out there.
A special game that you was part of, and I just thought about it. It was it Dreamin versus Gaffney? I think it was regional playoffs, was it not?
You mean Dutch Fort Gaffney?
Was it Dutch Fort Gaffney? It was the game that you ran into, and shout out Dave Omigo.
Facts, yeah, that was Dutch Fort Gaffney.
That was lit. That was a fire game.
It felt like everybody in upstate was at that game.
Yeah.
When I knew, that was when I did that game, I was still shooting on my iPhone then. When I did that game, I'm like, yo, this is nuts. I got to see what Gaffney football really about for real. Coming up. Being in Spartanburg, we ain't too far from Gaffney, but we got Spot High, we got Burns down the road, we got Dorman, Broome. So I went to a lot of those games, not necessarily too much of Gaffney games, but bro, Indians treat me like I am an Indian. And it's really been like that anywhere I've gone. Cavaliers treat me like a Cavalier. Vikings treat me like a Viking. I'm a Satirian 4L, so the love always gonna be there for them. Shout out to Chesley. Shout out to the Panthers. Shout out to Chapman. Everybody, man. Everybody. Woodruff, the Wolverines. Yeah, everybody just showed love, man. But football, basketball. My niece started doing track this year. Well, last year. So I would have to say probably 3 would be track maybe. Just to see, them get out there on the field. So football, basketball, track.
So you pretty much done ran down the line. You've answered all the questions that I really had. Right now, you you know, with your reels and everything. Music wise, you know, I be having to hit you with the music questions. But have you yourself been like surprised with a lot of the songs that you've selected for your reels? Cause that's what helped the video go up.
Right. Yeah, sometimes, you know, the ones that you kind of expect to turn up, sometimes, you know, numbers don't be there, but the ones that you really don't expect, they'll be the ones, for real. The ones you think that really, I'm not saying I don't put all my effort into creating the best reel, but the ones, you know, I'm just thinking, okay, it's gonna do a little decent number. Like, them be the ones that take off for real. But yeah, it's all about song play and storytelling, really.
So, you know, the last interview we did, we ended it off with like 3 little hot seat questions. First hot seat question: V's or Babyface Ray?
Ooh. Bro, that's 1A, 1B. That's 1A, 1B.
That's definitely that new Detroit for real.
Man, I've been rocking with V's for a few years. So to actually see V's come up, I listen more of V's than Babyface. So if I had to answer your question, I would say V's, but bro, they 1A, 1B. You listen to one, you gotta listen to the other.
Facts, for sure. As far as football, offense or defense?
That's tough. That's tough, bro. It's real tough. I you know, playing be back. I love that pill in my hand. But ain't nothing like hitting somebody too, though. So, I don't know, man.
Make sure y'all go check out Dreamin Media Group on all social media platforms.